I have a question for you. Why are you always saying,
Just before Christmas, why should I start eating healthy now? Why should I start losing weight now? I've got so many things coming up. Let's just wait until January.
I know that I'm not the only one who used to go off the rails with eating in the last 2 months of the year. Not this time, my love, because if you clicked on this video, you're tired of the same old behaviors. Eating your face off and then trying to be perfect in January. Just to repeat this cycle of weight loss, weight gain, weight loss, weight gain all over again. And the whole of 2025 will look like exactly how 2024 and all the years prior look like. No, this is done. You want a transformation, you want to glow up, and you want to do it now because you are tired of your own BS? Well, you came to the right place. If I could say one thing to you, it's the struggle that you have of staying consistent is up here. Eating healthy, staying on track, being consistent, and getting lean is 99% a mental challenge. So this is what I will help you with today. You will learn how to rewire your brain and start making decisions that are in alignment with your future self. And you will just stop that feeling of constantly letting yourself down, constantly acting out of alignment with who you want to be. You're in your winter arc and you're gonna make those last 2 months count. What you're doing now in the next 2 months is you're setting yourself up for 2025. This is about changing your eating habits, your behaviors that are aligned with your future self and that you can actually follow through on for the rest of your life. The very first thing you want to focus on is your self-image. That is literally the baseline of everything that you're gonna do. I have a whole journaling meditation that you can download below. It's completely free that will guide you through creating your future self if you're not quite sure of who that is or you need some guidance with that. But really important is that you need to create your self-image, because what you're doing now and what you've done for the past year now, everything that you do is always in alignment with your self-image. So your self-image is literally the most important thing when it comes to behavior. You will always act in alignment with who you believe you are. So you need to understand of who do you want to be. Let's say January hits. Who do you want to be by then? Who is this person in January? How is that person different to who you are now? What are her habits? What are her behaviors? What are her non-negotiables? What are her routines? How does she wake up in the morning? What does she do in the morning? And it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be this extreme version, like this perfectionist version. It needs still to be something that is attainable for you, because you obviously want to be able to follow through on this for the rest of your life. But you need to look at what are your behaviors now? What are these behaviors creating for you? And what will you need to change in order to become the person that you want to be? And then what you start to do is you start acting as that person. You start to act as your future self. You start to act from that new self-image that you have created. And if you look at my last video about the hot girl habits for autumn and winter, I walk you through of different ideas of what you can do in order to really always connect with that self-image, to keep that present in your mind. Then the next step is you really want to get obsessed with feeling good. This is the secret strategy that you need, because we're not doing diets anymore. We're not doing like certain meal plans that we don't really feel like or that we don't want to stick to. Yes, you will lose the weight, but you will put it back on because you're not going to be consistent with it. And we don't want that. What we want you to do is change your focus and create the focus of getting obsessed. Girl, I'm talking obsessed with feeling good, with feeling your best. And here's the kicker. It's not self-discipline, it's preference. And I want to explain what that means. First of all, I'm not a fan of extreme diets because it will always backfire, because you will be super strict now for the next 2 months. You'll be super strict, and then you will go off the rails either around Christmas time or in the new year. You will just binge. We don't want you to make a lot of progress now because you're super strict and then you just go off the rails and then you put the pounds back on. What you're gonna do is you start to focus on feeling your best and act from that place. For example, weekdays, you just won't feel your best if you stuff yourself with candy or have pastries in the morning or drink alcohol throughout the week. You want to feel energized. You want to feel focused. You're a career girly. You might have your own business. Maybe you're a uni and you need to focus on your exams or whatever. So you need to have energy. You need to stay focused. You're focusing on being productive and getting stuff done throughout the week. And the way you show up and the way you eat throughout the week has a huge impact on your productivity, on your mental well-being, on your energy level. So you need to create boundaries. And here's the part that will change your life. Instead of creating your boundaries because of self-discipline, because of willpower, because let's be real, self-discipline feels hard, doesn't feel fun. And when we feel like we have to do something, what often happens is you rebel. And self-discipline can also often create that feeling of restriction. And when you feel restricted, you're gonna act out. You're gonna binge, you're gonna overeat. So instead what you will do is you will approach the idea of boundaries from preference. What is the preference of your future self? What is the preference of who you want to be? Because your future self, she doesn't need willpower. She doesn't need self-discipline. Your Your future self has preference. She has habits that she prefers to do that makes her feel her best. My preference is to focus on fiber and protein in my meals, to have 3 main meals a day. Maybe that is not your preference. Maybe your preference is having 6 small meals a day. My preference is to avoid ultra-processed foods throughout the week and just really focus on whole foods, high protein foods, eating more lean, eating foods that really fuel energy. And if I eat those ultra-processed foods or drink alcohol throughout the week, guess what? I'm not going to feel good. I'm going to feel sluggish. I'm going to feel bloated. I'm going to feel tired. I'm going to feel exhausted. I'm going to have this like sugar crashes. I don't want to feel drained. My preference throughout the week is focusing on my job, focusing on my content creation, being active, working out, going to bed early. My preference on the weekend is different. My preference on the weekend is socializing. I like to see friends. I like to hang out with my boyfriend, do something, do activities, go for brunch, have a wine at night, enjoying the city that I live in, like go out, go to a restaurant, get a little treat from a bakery. These are my preferences on the weekend. And this is how I create balance. So I'm not restricting myself throughout the week and eat healthy.
Because I have self-discipline and I want to lose weight.
That is the wrong approach. Your thinking around it needs to change. It needs to feel easy. If it doesn't feel easy, if it feels hard all the time, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna last for you. And having my preferences and just having these boundaries because this is truly what I want, that is the game changer. Because then weight loss is just a byproduct of your preferences. It's not about never eating foods that are quote unquote unhealthy. Think about prioritizing foods as part of your preference as well that are loving you back. And every food can love you back. So it's not so much about the food itself. There are also ultra processed foods that can love you back and candy that can love you back, but it's about the quantity because certain foods can love you back in very small quantities and some foods can love you back in larger quantities. Let's say candy or ice cream. If you then have that food in larger quantities, that doesn't feel like it loves you back anymore. So every food has its place and every food will love you, but in a different quantity. That means that you can have every food. You don't have to restrict anything. You just have to focus on moderation and the quantity of these foods. And you for yourself decide when you want to have this. I like to just focus on treat foods for the weekend, but if you're someone who likes to have a little dessert, just have it as a dessert. Or if you want a treat food every day a little bit, have that every day. Like you need to understand like what is your preference. My preference doesn't need to be your preference, but your preferences don't need always to be attached to being obsessed with feeling your best. So whatever makes you feel your best, maybe a chocolate bar a day will make you feel your best. Maybe some ice cream every day will make you feel your best. The aim is really to avoid restriction and then feel like when you have those foods, maybe on the weekend or for special occasions, that you then get the chance and then you go completely crazy and binge. For your winter arc, think about, okay, Christmas is coming up for Americans, Thanksgiving is coming up. That doesn't mean just because there are a few days in those 2 months where you might want to eat a little bit more or you don't really want to focus so much on what you eat. That's totally fine, but don't think then because of that you have to scrape the whole 2 months and then start in January. That is completely insane. And even on those special days, so for example, you have a work dinner out, a Christmas party, you can still focus on feeling your best on the weekends and on special occasion days. So what I like to think about is I really want to approach everything with a feeling my best filter. And what would that look like? Overeating on foods is not going to make you feel your best. My next video will fully focus on just glow up nutrition for your winter arc. So make sure that you subscribe to not miss the next video. But I'm going to give you a little teaser now. Really prioritize fiber and protein in each of your meals. Both keep you fuller for longer. That means you avoid snacking. Fiber is super important for your gut microbiome. You really want to help and boost your gut health, and fiber is literally the main food source for your gut microbiome, for your gut bacteria. It will help with everything. It will make you glow up from the inside out. Glow your skin, your hair, your nails. Fiber and protein in each meal should really be the main component. So here are some ideas of fiber-rich foods that you can include throughout your winter arc journey. Oats. Oats are great. Oatmeal is fantastic in the morning. I would add some protein powder to it, maybe some egg white, add some protein source to it, and also some healthy fats like some tahini, some nut butter, some nuts, so that helps you to stabilize your blood sugar. Berries are a great fruit for winter, but all year round really. I always buy frozen berries. I add them to my porridge. I add them to my yogurt. Especially blueberries and raspberries are packed with antioxidants, which you really want, especially in winter. The next thing is sweet potatoes, great fiber source, super healthy foods. They provide vitamin A, which is also important for your skin health and for your immune support. Protein foods, for example, Greek yogurt is amazing. If you're a vegan, there are Greek yogurt alternatives that are really good. It's low in fat, so perfect for weight loss. And it's so versatile. You can add berries, nuts to it. You can add different protein powders to it. You can make dips with it. It's just like such an amazing food. Especially if you eat fish, have fatty salmon. Best to have organic salmon. The reason why salmon is great is because it's really high in omega-3 fatty acids. That helps you to support skin elasticity and generally gives a glow. For vegans And sources, what is amazing is tofu and tempeh. These are plant-based proteins that really provide essential amino acids and are really high in protein. And then when it comes to healthy fats, nuts are great, especially in winter. Hazelnuts, walnuts, olive oil, and avocados, of course. I also love tahini, that is like a sesame paste. And I just put this over my yogurt, I put this over my porridge. I make hummus with it. Like, I use tahini like every day. It's also a great fat. And then you really want to focus on seasonal vegetables. Leafy greens like kale that are in season. Beetroot, carrots, potatoes are amazing. Roasted veggies. And if you want more glow up support throughout your winter arc, make sure to watch this video on the hot girl habits for winter and autumn next. And make sure to follow me on TikTok and Instagram because I am sharing a lot of recipes on there that can be also helpful for you. Okay guys, I'll speak to you soon. Bye!